Evening folks, Mike here, Dezaras Prime, back with the final Combiner Wars review. I was going to do the Devastator review, the 6 Constructicons separately, but I kind of thought it's the Titan of the series. Let's just do it all at once, have a Titan review. If people want me to upload them separately afterwards, because they don't want to sit through however long this is of me talking about these figures, then that's fine. I will separate the reviews into their individual components and do it that way. But I thought it would be nice to just, with the Titan, do an extra long review on it and get it all done in one. So, 6 Constructicons. We will start with, we'll go by order of the box actually. We'll start with Hook, who is this one. Now, the one thing I like about these Constructicons, it's much like the Power of the Prime's Dinobots. They don't shy away from their G1 aesthetic or that nostalgic fucking look about them. I mean, you've only got to look at Power of the Prime's Slug. With his, he should be pottering about somewhere. If I can find him. He is somewhere around here, I know that. This is why it's feature length, because I didn't think to get Slug out. There's Swoop. There he is near Optimus Prime. But yeah, Slug, or as I still find it easy to call him, Slag, because we've had Slug and we've had fucking, in Age of Extinction, Sludge was called Slog, so I tend to just stick with Slag, plus I like the word. British, you know why. It fucking rocks that G1 look. And like I said in the top 10 of 2018, that it doesn't shy away from it, it fully embraces it. They're articulate, but like the Triceratops head, they could have found a way to fold that down and give him full range of movement in his head, but they didn't, because that's what it looked like back then. And I like that they've done that. And with a lot of the Combiner Wars figures and the limbs, they take elements from IDW and other things, and they're updated looks. These guys, the Constructicons and the Dinobots, mostly, they just fully embrace that G1 ridiculous fucking boxy aesthetic, and it's fucking great. However, it does have some drawbacks. Let's look at Hook. Got a great fucking head sculpt there. They're all very fucking accurate head sculpts. I've left his fucking peg out there. Torso's great, that detail, and the paint, fucking the green and the purple, and those silver faces, the red visor. I think they all have red visors actually. Yeah, they all have the red visors, and those little bits of red there, and the silver legs, and silver paintwork in amongst all that green and purple. It really does look gorgeous. It looks like a blown up G1 figure. But they've attempted to add articulation into these, like full articulation. In some cases it doesn't exactly work. Yeah. He has elbow movement, but it's not fantastic because there's nothing there. It's I'll give him credit for trying. And there's hollowness in the inner forearm, that's where the wrist goes. They didn't put a panel there. They probably could have done, but yeah, this was an expensive set as it is. I think the Takara one did some work to fix some of the issues that these figures have. This is the Hasbro one. But it's one of those issues where they tried to go with the look of the 80s. They tried to embrace that full nostalgia feel, yet they tried to add the elements of the modern figures like articulation and posability, and you know, some compromises had to be made, and sometimes it doesn't exactly translate well, much like Hook's elbows. The hook on the back actually doesn't detract or extend. It would have been nice if it did, but yeah, such as it is. You'll find with a lot of these Constructicons, there's a lot of willy kibble. It kind of like just comes through there, look. And you'll find that with a couple of them. But yeah, all in all, he's a decent fucking figure. He looks great, he feels great. He feels very play school at times. But I will say what they lack in what the individual component figures lack more than makes up for with the Devastator build itself. I mean, let's face it, that's the selling point. These are just the icing on the cake. Just the added little bonus features. And at least they do fucking have robot and vehicle and combination capabilities, unlike that Revenge of the Fallen travesty. And it looks like Devastator, unlike that Revenge of the Fallen travesty. So, yeah, we're with Hook still. He has the full 360 head. That nice box head. Arms go out to a degree, because there's this whole shoulder thing in the way. And they go forward. I've left another fucking piece out as well. And they can go all the way around. There's that weird ass elbow motion there. And no wrist swivel, but the wrist can bend in and out a little bit. That's mainly for transformation. No thigh rotation. Legs can go out, forward, bend at the knee. No ankle tilt left and right, but it can go back and forth a bit, which is nice. Yeah, so all in all, a decent little figure. I say little, he's bigger than most. I mean, if we just bring Slug back, yeah, he's a big one. It's like 6 Voyager size figures. He might even be taller than a Voyager. No, just compared him with Sentinel Prime, the Titan's Return one, is a Voyager size. So that's Hook in his robot mode. Let's get him to his vehicle mode. So what I mean about play school, it is very play school. And considering the size of it, and there are elements where it feels a little bit dangerous and a little bit scary to touch, but it does feel like a toy. I think the wheels, the back end's done right. It's been a while since I've transformed it into their individual components. But yeah, it's got obviously the hook that doesn't retract or extend or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame, but it's fine. Like I said, the individual parts, components, they have to give up a lot. If you want the full fucking G1 look of Devastator, but you still want the playability and some posability, then there's going to have to be compromises made at certain places. But yeah, this was one of those that I was definitely interested in picking up. It was the one that I wanted from Combiner Wars. I think I got Devastator even after I'd given up on Combiner Wars. I think I still went out and got Devastator and then built up after that. So yeah, it's definitely one of those that I wanted and I don't regret buying. It's a very good set. But yeah, that is Hook in his vehicle mode. It's decent enough, but a bit kiddie, which isn't a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. So I'll set him aside now. Let's go to, not long haul because he's the torso, or the main part. Let's go Scavenger, shall we? Where's Scavenger? Come on down, you. Scavenger might be the best of the bunch. He's a contender for best of the bunch because he looks great. He is well proportioned. he's a fucking joy. Scavenger is. Look at that head sculpt again. He's even got that silly little box on a box, fucking mouth plate. The nice red detailing on either side, and there's some really nice sculpted detail in here as well. In amongst all the paintwork and stuff, like even the two like red parts on his chest have different interior details. It's that lovely grill type thing there with the Decepticon symbol and those yellow things going down the sides. And then his waist, nice purple with silver and the red highlights. Legs are just basically fucking MC Hammer pants, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. And not a lot of kibble. The scoop actually does fold, thank God. And it can it just sits there nicely out the way. All in all, this is, like I say, it could be the best of the Constructicons. It is fucking, yeah, it's a decent figure. Articulation wise, he has the 360 head, and he has ball joint shoulders, full range of motion there. Elbows go forward, back, but I think, yes, they're on a ball joint as well, but it kind of the proportions kind of go a little bit out of whack there. But it's fine, at least they've got it. And it still has that massive elbow gap, but I guess that's the thing with the boxy ones. When you've got figures like, we'll go back to Slag again. Look at his elbow motion. He's got the little kind of like wheel thing in the middle there that kind of helps keep the arm looking together. But when you've got excuse me, blocky figures like this, then again, it comes down to the compromises. And yes, he has the willy kibble there. So, bit of hollowness in the forearms as well, because that's where that's where the fists go, and there's no panels. No wrist swivel, except the fist can go down, but that's again for transformation purposes. No waist swivel. Legs can go out. They can go forward. And they bend at the knees as well. Not really any foot. You got a bit of foot tilt, ankle tilt there, which is decent. That's nice. You can split, have a bit of it going that way, but why would you wanna? That's mainly for his vehicle mode, which, yeah, he's a decent enough figure. And he's one of the safest feeling ones as well, because there are other ones where it feels a bit off and a bit I shouldn't really touch that. But yeah, if we're looking at Scavenger, is definitely, the names lose me sometimes. I know certain ones, and there are certain ones that the names escape me sometimes. So yeah, Scavenger is a very solid, very decent robot mode. Let's see what he's like as a vehicle. Okay, so Scavenger as his excavator, I want to say, is very solid, very play school. It's decent enough. Has the wheels underneath. I wonder what the grill is actually for. Because you'd think it would make the front of the excavator. But it doesn't. It's just, it's just his chest piece. But it looks like it could be part of the vehicle, which I guess is cheeky, but also at the same time, they did him a decent chest piece. But yeah, not a lot to say about his vehicle mode really. It's an excavator. It's purple and green, and it again very solid, very play school. and there's a nice reach on that. The bucket doesn't rotate, so you can only like do it like that. But you know, again, Takara may have done a different version with that, and you can also compress it nicely like that. So he doesn't have to like just drive like that and accidentally claw fucking hook by accident just because he's trying to catch up a bit. So yeah, that's Scavenger's vehicle mode. Again, nice, blocky, very 80s, and it feels like a toy. Now, we come to one of those ones that I said doesn't really feel safe, and you question whether you should touch it. The thing that's really wrong about this one is there's a certain place where you really shouldn't touch it. I am, of course, talking about Bone Crusher. Now, I've managed to get him to hold pretty decently in that area, but I almost had to take a bath after. I felt shame. I didn't really feel shame, but it's one of those things where Bone Crusher is top half's a success. I'll give it that. The top is fucking great. I mean, the head sculpt, again, is fucking bang on the money. There you are, that's it. Yeah, good camera focus on Bone Crusher. The chest is great. I fucking love that chest. Makes for one badass fucking scoop. Even the abdominal bit with that really looks good. The arms look fucking gorgeous. I love the arms. The silver, the black, silver again, purple. Silver detailing on the side of the arms there is really nice. He has the willy kibble again because of the combiner port. Because these, like I said, they're not scramble combiners. They don't combine with other teams. They don't even form the other limb. They can only be legs or arms. I might be wrong, but they might also only be specific legs and arms. But yeah, everything above the waist is great on this figure. It's just below the waist, specifically between the legs. It's really hard to get his twat to stay together. I'll say that again because that just came out. It's really hard to get his crotch to stay together. You look, even then, it's a little bit out of sync. It's holding well enough now, but it's dangerous. I'm gonna try and get through the points of articulation without giving him massive birthing hips. So, you know, the head does do the full 360. The arms, they can go out nice enough, and they go all the way around. Elbows, they all have that thing. I'm over that now. I'm going to stop mentioning that. Elbows bend. Has the elbow swivel as well. So, you know, good stuff. No wrist action. The legs, hypothetically speaking, can go out. They can go forwards and back, and there is a knee bend. There is also the ankle tilt. So yeah, I was very careful with that. I treated it quite gingerly down there. All in all, he is a great figure. Once you get it right. It takes work to get him to fucking hold his fucking junk together. And then once that's done, it's fine. It's great. It is I really like it. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of hassle with it sometimes. Again, don't know if Dezaras sorted their fucking Bone Crusher's fanny out or not. I don't know. I'm really sorry. It's pouring out, isn't it? It's just pouring out. I'm gonna get Bone Crusher to vehicle mode. Be right back, yo. Okay, so Bone Crusher's vehicle mode, his digger, is actually, it's a tricky transformation, but you know, once you figure out what you're doing, it's actually pretty satisfying. It's also a case of when you transform him to this, you know, you've got to go through all that trouble again just to get his legs back together for robot mode. It is a very nice vehicle mode. And it does one of those things where it really because I didn't really go through this with the other one, so I'll quickly go through them. Some of the detail in the vehicle mode, the sculpting is really nice looking. I have to look over because these things are that big. Some really nice sculpted detail on Hook, and same again on Scavenger. You don't see this level of detail in Play School toys, do you? The vents there. Just the general sculpt in there with the fucking steel panels and all the detail going along the neck of the scoop, and even on the scoop. Some nice detail there, and Bone Crusher carries it on nicely with those silver panels that are on his arms there, and painted purple windows, and all the mechanical detail in the treads that just to bring him back in. Scavenger has all that as well. Different detailing as well, so it's not like they use the same treads for them. Or they might have done mostly but just remolded it, the inside, but the sides as well. You've got that like little ladder rack thing going up there, and then the venting, cooling vents around the back, and the lights on the front, and the scoop. The scoop's a little bit like, it hides all that badass Decepticon chest stuff, but that's fine. The scoop can go down, and it can go up. It's yeah, it's a decent little digger type thing, and I quite dig it. But yeah, so that is Bone Crusher. He's decent. He's just a bit of, carries a risk factor with him. So next we'll get to Scrapper. Now the reason Scrapper's head is tilted that way is because if you put it straight, it tends to drop down. You can pull it up all you want, but eventually it'll drop down. So even then, it's starting to fall down a bit. So yeah, Scrapper's head isn't very solid. It's a great head sculpt. Look at that. Fucking love that head sculpt. It's just a shame that it wants to hide himself all the time. It's like fucking Seer, isn't it? But yeah, that's a gorgeous head sculpt. And the chest as well, and the abdominal area is spot on. It's all just fucking really nice. The purples, reds and greens with the silver again, and the blacks really make this stand out. And I believe a little bit of gold on the waist as well, look. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, very nice looking. Silver on the thighs, and the detailing, sculpted detail on the shins as well. And then on the sides, and again that big scoop. folds up nicely. Nice big wheels on the shoulders. Again, it's just a shame that his head, he can't look straight ahead without it popping down a little bit. I guess tilting his head up kind of stops that, because it stops it just sliding. It kind of gives a little bit of resistance, but I'm sure it'll slide down eventually. But points of articulation, his head goes up and down. It's like a fucking whack-a-mole. And it goes all the way around as well. Let's just tilt that. Arms can go up. They go all the way around. No elbow bend on this guy. He has the wrist, but again, mainly for transformation. He has an elbow tilt, swivel, sorry, but no elbow bend, which is a shame. His fists go both ways. It's really weird. Legs go out, they go forward. No thigh swivel, though it looks like there is down there. Knees bend. And he has an ankle tilt as well. So, he has decent articulation, but for me, a key area of articulation, especially when it comes to upgrading G1 figures, is the elbows. Because G1 figures were all mostly like that, and you could turn their heads sometimes, and you could do fuck all with the legs. At least you can do stuff with the legs with this, but the key areas where I like my articulation are the elbows. Just so I can, when I'm posing them, if you notice my Transformers posed, none of them, or very few of them, stand straight armed. I have the elbows bent a little bit just to add a little bit of personality to it. And just so it doesn't stand like a rigid block, just to adds a bit of life to it. Can't do that with this guy, which is a shame. But again, compromises for the sake of Devastator. Hollow back of the legs as well. Yeah, couple of issues really stopped this being a really good figure. Again, like Bone Crusher, the crotch issue is quite a problematic one, especially if you're transforming him and then you want to transform him back. You've got to go through all that bollocks again. Literally all that bollocks again. Yeah, full of puns with that, aren't I? Let's get to who am I doing? Scrappers vehicle mode. Yeah, so his transformation's quite fun. I do like that it's not too tricky, but it's not a dummy's transformation either. You've got to like look. You can do it without instructions. Excuse me. And it's easy if you haven't transformed it for a while, like I haven't with a lot of these. It's easy to pick up again, but there's just something nice about it. How you have to think about it. You don't have to think hard about it, but you have to think about it a little bit. And you come out with this nice little fucking digger buggy. It's very buggy-like to me. But also with a massive scoop on the front. It's nice. It looks a bit skeletal in places, like there's pieces missing. You can see a lot of the interiors, but that's what gave me the buggy impression, because buggies don't have a lot of outer coating. That's where I got that impression from, but there's still a lot of nice detail in there as well. The little ladders. It's as you've like got a fucking game of Donkey Kong going up the side there. You can just have fucking Primal at the top, just lobbing barrels and just send Mario up there, and then he's got to go up there and fucking, yeah. You could totally play Donkey Kong up this guy. But yeah, the pipes up there, the bumped metal effect there. The nice big wheels. And yeah, you can see some of the leg pieces there and a lot of the purple bits there. Make sure I transformed it right. Yeah, but it's still a decent enough figure. I still like it. If you lift up the scoop, there's a lot of nice detailing on the hood or the bonnet as well. So it's very good sculpting detail in this. And yeah, you could totally fucking play Donkey Kong up there. Yeah, interesting one, that. Fucking Digger Buggy. All the other ones are like pretty complete and whole. But yeah, quite like Scrappers. Let's get to the final limb piece. Well, I guess Hook isn't a limb, is he? His shoulders. Shoulders. Let's get to Mixmaster. God. There's embracing the nostalgia and the 80s and the G1 aesthetics. And yeah, this does that. But I'm worried that it might maybe take it a bit too far with Mixmaster. You can get away with it with the other four. But these last two are kind of... yeah. Should you though? Should you maybe just change it up a little bit? Maybe do away with some of that nostalgia. I don't know. It's a tough one to call. Because Mixmaster, again, he's got the massive fucking cockpit, like fucking thing over his head. You can get him to tilt his head. But yeah. The arms are disproportionate. I mean, even if you take off that bit, hide the shoulder part, the forearm to upper arm ratio is skewed severely. Still a nice head sculpt, give it that. He looks really displeased with you. Doesn't have a visor actually, does he? He has the eyes. Everyone else has the visors, he has the eyes. Yeah, you're really fucking pushing it, aren't you, Mixmaster? Chest, decent enough. It doesn't pop like some of the other chests. All the other guys have like their chest. This is like quite minimal, really. It's just purple with that little red bit, the two black bumps, and then the silver abs. And then the waist's okay. Nice detailing on the waist and the thighs. And then you've got the massive fucking chunky legs down here with the silver and black detailing. And then you can see how disproportionate the arms are there. And then you've got his massive cement mixer ass that doesn't move in any way. There's really no way to get rid of it. I can't exactly remember his robot mode animation model from the back. I never really thought, watching G1, yeah, Mixmaster's arse. Never really thought that. So, it's kind of like... It's strange, this one. I feel like this one, really pushes its look. And, I mean, the other ones, they get away with it. Even Bone Crusher does. Even with his dodgy... I don't know why I went like that. He's not paying me for this. But yeah, this is really pushing the boundaries, I feel. But again, compromises because it's all about Devastator. He is the major selling point. Head can go a full 360. See, look, I'll just do it. Because you can't see me doing it, because fucking there's this massive green bastard thing in the way. But yeah, his head does do a full 360. Arms can go out, encumbered and hindered by this fucking shit. They go round. He has an elbow bend. Again, no elbow. Or should I say that's a wrist bend, because that fucking might as well be his wrist. No waist swivel. Legs go out. Forward. Bend at the knees. Quite nicely, actually, I'll give it that. And he has a bit of ankle tilt as well. So that's Mixmaster in his robot mode. Not the best. I still feel Scrapper has the best robot mode. Not Scrapper, sorry, Scavenger has the best robot mode. Possibly the best vehicle mode. It's either Scavenger or Scrapper for the vehicle mode, whoever one's got the best. Bone Crushers is decent, but it's a lot of green. Scavenger has the purple to break it, a lot more purple to break it up. Let's see how Mixmaster fares, shall we? I'll repeat the question Thew asked in his Devastator review. Which side's the front? Now, I would suggest that that would be the front. Because, you know, you usually have the fucking cement thing behind the cab. And then they'll pour it in from the back. And do all that shit then. Or it'll come out of the back. But the box shows that as the front. Which is really fucking dodgy, isn't it? Because what if it leaks out and that's your front window? How are you going to see? The transformation to vehicle was simple as fuck, because the thing is, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but Mixmaster's robot mode was pretty much his vehicle mode already. You just had to click his legs together, fold them up into there, and then the head, turn it around if you want. You don't even have to. And then just fold his arms down and click them in. I guess it's fine. It's just, there's been something. And, you know, I guess I'm kind of grateful because, you know, if you go and transform in these things, I'd say do Bone Crusher first. Get that fucking issue out of the way. And then come on to Mixmaster, because it's like, it'll balance, there's balance in the force there, isn't there? You struggle with Bone Crusher, got a Mixmaster. Ah, nice and easy. You level. Yeah. He's fucking cement mixer mode's decent enough. It's big. It is big and bulky, and it has nice detailing again, like the ladders that go up to nowhere. Some nice little detailing on the top there. It's like he's got a little fucking marketplace going on up there. Around the front, if that's the front, it looks good. Across here to the other front, it's got some nice detailing, and there's nice barred windows. And some nice detailing at the front of the front, if it is the front. I don't fucking know. I don't think anybody knows. And the painted silver oil can things there. So yeah, all in all, it's quite decent. I still don't think he's the best. He's definitely the best. He's the weakest robot. He's not the best vehicle. I think honours still go to Scavenger, because he has the decent robot and the decent vehicle mode. Scrapper has a great... I'll look at this and I'll just love it even more. At first I didn't think much of it, but it's like, fucking digger buggy. I want a digger buggy. I ain't got a garden for a start, but if I had a place with a garden, I'd just get a digger buggy and just dig it up. Just go around in a little fucking dune buggy type thing with a massive fucking scoop on the front. Be great. But yeah, his Scrapper's robot mode is hindered by no elbows, and the head I mean, I won't be so bothered with the elbows thing, but the head, you can't even look straight. Or he can, but then he'll just be like, Try to do it right. So it's like, I don't know, because my head still isn't going into my chest, is it? I'm not doing it right. Anyway, if you look at Long Haul, I mean, you've been seeing him all fucking review. He's like the anti-John Cena. Long Haul. Again, this is where it starts to push it a bit. Because he's big, and he is very bulky, and he has some nice heft to him. Obviously, he makes up the main Devastator torso. And he looks adorable. But that's kind of the problem with Long Haul. These 6 Constructicons form Devastator. They don't form, come here love, let's have an hug. He shouldn't be adorable. Tell you a quick story. AA 2014, I've said before, I had enough money and I didn't really have much of a list at the time, but on my list was Revenge of the Fallen Long Haul. And I managed to get one. And I got Payload as well. I think I got Payload before I got Long Haul because I couldn't find Long Haul on eBay. So I was like, hopefully AA, I can get one. And I fucking love Revenge of the Fallen Long Haul. I don't like the Constructicons or the Devastator thing in Revenge of the Fallen. But some of the individual Constructicons were fine. Long Haul was fucking great. And playing as him in the Revenge of the Fallen game, as bad as Revenge of the Fallen the game is, and the film, but yeah, playing as Long Haul was a fucking joy. And I wanted the toy, even back as far as 2009, 2010. I wanted a Revenge of the Fallen Long Haul, the Voyager. And I got one, and I was really happy, because he looks fucking like he will kill you. And that, to me, is Long Haul, especially when, like I said, he makes up part of Devastator. Now this guy, this Long Haul, he just looks too adorable to be menacing. I mean, he's got a great head sculpt, and the chest is nice, and the detailing is fantastic on this. He's a bigger figure, so they've got a room for more detail. But he just... It's the arms. If he had bulkier arms and maybe longer legs, then it wouldn't be so bad. I mean, he's still got a fucking knee bend. He's still got a fucking knee bend. And his legs don't even go down to the knees. It's just... It's strange. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just strange. The arms are what let it down. But I mean, he has those fucking spikes on his belly, sort of thing. Those fucking things. And if he was like, oh, come here and give Long Haul a cuddle, and he was totally planning on impaling me with those spikes, just looking at him, and he's like, oh, come give me a love. And, you know, his secret plan is, yeah, I'll use my totes adorableness to my advantage and lure them in. I would still fucking go. I would go hug that bastard and impale myself because he looks like the sort of person I would go and give a hug to. I would go to my death to cuddle him. Sorry. Got a bit fucking carried away then, didn't I? I would go to my death to cuddle him. feel like such a twat now. I think I'm going red, aren't I? I'm gonna get into vehicle mode. I haven't done his points of articulation. Right, his head very stiff. There's this thing at the back of his neck. This extra little thing there, you can see it at the back. That I would assume his head could go a full 360, but that hinders it. The movement at the back, I'm not gonna risk it. His arms go. There is of his arms go all the way around, and they do that. Watch the huge review if you want to see that at its maximum potential. Excuse me. Yeah. He has the waist swivel. So yeah. Bonus. Oh shit, that didn't sound good. I think it's because I'm twisting it the other way. Yeah. He's got a waist swivel. His legs can go out. Really fucking tight ratchets there. But he needs to hold fucking Voyagers on those. So, you know, fair enough. They need to be fucking tight. He has the fucking knee bend. Even though he doesn't look like he should have knees. I think if those massive blocks weren't there, it wouldn't look so bad. And he has a bit of a ankle tilt. That's his articulation. Now I can get him to vehicle mode. Oh, I've left his fucking arse flaps up. That are Devastator's bollock flaps. Vehicle. I don't know if you can hear that coming from outside. Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Guess I just drove past dancing to it. Santa Claus. Yeah, they're doing like the little fucking thing where you have Santa Claus riding around town on his little fire truck thing. I think he was on the way past my son's house when I was dropping him off. And now it's finally made it around here. Doing that whole fucking thing to Sweet Child of Mine. Don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I'm trying to review Devastator and I've just fucking admitted that I would fucking cuddle long haul until he killed me. And then I've just seen Santa dancing to Guns N' Roses. It's been a hell of a night. Long haul's dump truck. Not his dump truck. He is a dump truck, isn't he? Yeah. At least he ain't a fire truck with a dancing Santa. Oh, yeah. It's big. And fucking bulky. And I don't... Is that right? It's too late to go back now, isn't it? There's no closing that off, I don't think. Although it might. I don't know. I don't have the instructions for this on me, so I'm basically just winging it. That's the gist of it, though. I'll say that. That's the gist of it. Dump truck doesn't go up and down, so that's a shame. But it's still it's a big fucking dump truck. That's yeah. It looks mean from there. It looks a lot meaner in this mode than he does in his robot mode. I guess it's like dad at work versus dad coming home. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get my job done. Oh, I'm gonna fucking dump shit everywhere. And he goes home and like, hi kids, daddy's home. Don't know. Yeah, some nice detailing there, I guess. Around the front, Decepticon symbol on the front, and the lights painted nicely, that little window up there, and some nice sculpted detail on the top. and then round the side. All in all, it's a decent dump truck. It got fit much in there, but you could probably put all the weapons and shit. Now, I've got all the weapons and stuff because they make up Devastator's fucking shield and shit. So yeah, so those are my individual Constructicons reviewed. Long Haul and Mixmaster are the weakest of the pair of the 6, because Mixmaster's got a decent enough vehicle mode, I guess, but his robot mode is hindered by so much fucking kibble. Again, I commend Hasbro for fucking fully embracing the G1 looks, and even though some of them look ludicrous at times, but Mixmaster's definitely one of those where maybe should have fucking thought, well, it's a bit much. But again, selling points Devastator, which we're going to get to very shortly. Long Haul, just fucking hell. You know what I think about Long Haul. Can I get to Revengi Long Haul, actually, just to show an example? He's at the back there. Shift ratchet. And move to the ratchet and shockwave. And to the shockwave and to the ratchet. Shift Megatron to the side a bit. Okay, this is Revenge of the Fallen Long Haul. This is the Long Haul I loved playing as in the fucking Revenge of the Fallen game. He looks like he will fucking wreck you, and then wreck your mum, and then just for a laugh wreck your nan. And then after that, if he's feeling particularly frisky, he'll move on to the male side of the family. Yeah. That's, I mean, I know, say what you will about the Bayformers and how they look, but he looks fucking evil. And that is the Long Haul I like. I don't dislike this. Like I said, I find it adorable. But you've got fucking murderous, and then you've got adorable. It's an odd one, isn't it? He just doesn't look menacing enough. But again, compromises for Devastator, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there for this portion, the components. So yeah, Long Haul and Mixmaster have their faults. Scrapper, I like as a vehicle. I like the digger buggy look of him. Bone Crusher, very good robot from the waist up. Vehicle mode solid. He's got that, you know, he needs to shut his legs. That's an issue. Scavenger, very good in both modes. Like the robot, like the vehicle mode. Might be the best of the bunch. And then you've got Hook, who's is decent enough in both. No complaints. I don't think I had any complaints. It's a long time ago, wasn't it? But yeah, those are the summaries of the Combiner Wars Devastator Constructicon components. I'll be back shortly with the actual Devastator review. We'll see him fully combined. Okay, so I can't display him on the table and do my usual seated position because he would mask me. He is fucking huge. I said that there would be compromises for Devastator, the Devastator mode, and yeah, he is fucking gorgeous. I mean, all that detail that you see in each individual bot all blends together seamlessly. And fuck me. Let me check out the head. Let's have a look at the head there. It's fucking intense. I believe there are other versions that just have the eyes and not the visor. I prefer the visor because most of the Constructicons have visors, with the exception of Mixmaster. The chest plate there, the shield. Beautiful. Lovely detail. Bit of a hole in the back, but I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah. Arms may come across as a little bit skinny there, but I don't mind that as much because when you come back, he just fucking looks immense. He is immense. He is fucking... I mean, he isn't even the biggest one I've got. I'll do some size comparisons in a minute. But, yeah, he is huge. And probably the best thing about it is he is playable as well. He's not just one of those that you have to just stand there. And yes, he's a combiner, but he has some great range of posability. You can safely move his arms. His fingers, are they individually? I don't think his fingers are separate. No, the fingers aren't separate. But you can give him an open hand so he can proper fucking slap you. He has the... I haven't done this before ever with a combiner, point of articulation. He has the elbow bend and the elbow swivel. The arms can come out. Again, looks a bit weedy there, but, you know, the thing is, it's so fucking big that even that is still half a fucking Voyager. There's still going to be a lot of power in that fucking arm. So what if the treads don't come out with it? That doesn't matter to me. I mean, that arm is still fucking bigger than a fucking other combiner arm. I mean, just the upper arm is fucking about the same size. Okay, maybe I'm pushing it a little bit. Depends which one you use, but there's enough power in there to fucking ruin someone's life. And then, the legs are on those massive fucking ratchets. Those really heavy ratchets, but you can get a good range of poses with it. I'm going to stop here and just get him into a pose because I can't hold the camera and pose this guy at the same time. It is not possible. I don't have enough arms. Here's in one of his I'm going to shoot you poses. And he just cuts an imposing figure. You can't do that with a G1 Devastator. And see, I've got I'm sat on my chair here. Usually I sit on the floor when I do the comparisons in this spot. I sat on my chair there and I've still got to get back. Fucking hell. It just impresses me how big, not only how big this guy is, but how posable he is as well. And you've obviously got the multiple joints in his legs. You flip up these hip plates here, and you've got these joints here that are where long haul's feet go. And that's one joint you can have. You've also got the long haul knee joints that you can use to really maximize articulation in the legs. The arms are as standard, but still they do an excellent job of posing. And little things like that, like just it's either going to shoot you or grab you by the fucking throat. Sorry, it was focused on it's gone a bit blurry now, hasn't it? Probably because there's so much detail there. There we are, it's starting to focus again now. Ironically, with Devastator, the closer you get, the more focused it is. But with other ones, the closer you get, the less focused it is. But yeah, it is a fucking immense toy. It's definitely one of those that I definitely wanted, and it's one of those that, yeah, Devastator himself, when they're all combined into this, is definitely the biggest selling point. I just love this so much. Let's get him size comparison with a few of the other big boys. Okay, so here he is with a bunch of combiners, these other Combiner Wars combiners. Defensor's hunched a little bit. But I've also got him there with Titan's Return Orion packs. And he doesn't even come up to the knee. Okay, because his knees are there. Oh. And Pax doesn't even come up to Devastator's knee. Picture might be a bit out of focus here because there's so much going on in the background. I had to do it on the main table. And there he is with Combiner Wars Superion, who only comes up to his waist. Yeah, so that gives you some indication. There you are, see? So you can't even see Pax now. If we bring it back down just a little bit, there you can see the heads of all of them. Barely with Pax. Let's get him into a comparison with some other ones. With Energon Omega Supreme. Omega Supreme is obviously Devastator's big rival. And, yeah, big rival being the operative word. Omega Supreme cuts a pretty imposing figure in and of himself, but then you put him next to Devastator. Although, I will say Omega is not as small as the rest of them. I do have bigger, obviously I'll get to them. But yeah, Omega Supreme is not that far off Devastator, but Devastator still a good couple inches taller than Omega Supreme. Even the Devourer of Worlds, the Chaos Bringer himself, Unicron, still fucking has to look up to Devastator. It's... You know, Unicron for a while he wasn't the biggest Transformer, was he? Because Fort Max was always the biggest. But, spoiler alert, Fort Max is bigger. But, fucking... Yeah, fucking Unicron was always the big one of the modern era. I mean, he fucking towers over Primus. Primus is Cybertron. Unicron is his own planet-destroying planet. And yet a few construction vehicles fucking tower over him. It's fucking impressive. Because, you know, Unicron ain't no slouch either. He fucking towers over a Combiner Wars Combiner. He looks right over the shoulders there. But, yeah, Devastator would look over Unicron's shoulders effortlessly. So here's where Devastator starts to look a little bit small. Titan's Return Triptychon. Now, if I put the guns down on Triptychon, and I need to put the stickers on him actually, for when I do the review, they are more aligned, but Triptychon is still fucking... Let's bring Devastator forward a bit. Triptychon still has maybe a good inch over Devastator there. But it does go to show that there are very few that rival Devastator in terms of size. Yeah, I need to put Triptychon stickers on because he has about 100 more than fucking Fort and Grand Max. I think Grand Max only had about 50. I think Fort Mattress only had about the same. Speaking of the Maximi, let's compare Devastator with those. Standing as far back as I can without knocking anything off. And, oh god, that is a sight to behold. That's a big now, are you, Devastator? Obviously, we've got Generations, Metroplex, Fortress Maximus, Grand Maximus, and then Devastator down here. yeah, so he isn't the biggest, but you've seen how big he actually is. He sliver below Tripticon, towers over Unicron, towers over Omega Supreme. These guys tower over him. Oh my god, they are almost as tall as me right now. They're on tables, obviously. I'm on the floor, but still, I'm not the tallest guy. Also, keep in mind, Fortress Grand, Metroplex, he does the whole city, or he sits down like a slag, and he does his little rumble along the ground and tree crushing fucking battleship rolling thing. Fortress and Grand, they have their battleship modes and their base modes, or city modes, and they also have the headmaster gimmicks, their double headmaster gimmicks. Devastator is 6 robots who have individual robot and vehicle modes and the combination capabilities to form Devastator. So don't think for a second that just because these guys tower over him that he is any less than them. Even Tripticon, he has the same, he doesn't have the headmaster functionality. He came with a headmaster, a Titan Master figure. What's his fucking name? The purple one. But he did the ship and the city mode and the dino mode as well. And what's his fucking mate's name? It's the car in his chest. Assuming he's there. He's not in there. It's that guy. Can't remember his name at the minute. Cunt Chops or something. But yeah. Just because Devastator is smaller than them, than the other Titans, because he is Titan class as well, just because he's smaller than the Titans doesn't mean he's he's less of a Titan than the Titans. There's a lot going into this guy. He packs a lot of fucking punch. And you know, some of the robot modes are very good. Some of the vehicle modes are very good. Let down in a couple of areas in the individual robot modes, but it all comes together to form that. And that is an impressive specimen in and of himself. So, yeah. But it is a fucking awesome visual, that. Yeah. I posted an Instagram picture on my Instagram account of the 3 Titans, Metroplex, Fortress and Grand. It's right after I got Grand. And they're all just sat on the couch watching TV. And they filled my couch. It's quite funny. I might see if I can find it and then post it at the end of this. I don't know. Or you could just go and look at my Instagram. Anyway, yeah. I'm just going to reset everything before I give my final thoughts on not just Devastator, but the Combiner Wars line in general. Okay, so that's the end of the Combiner Wars for me. In terms of reviewing, unless I get any others later on. But as of this moment, that's it for Combiner Wars. I've gone through all of them. And it's been exhausting. It's been sometimes frustrating, but at other times, most of the time, it's been a lot of fun. Even the frustrating moments were fun, because I got to share my thoughts and look at toys that are a few years old, and you know, we come back to them a few years later and we get to look at them again through a new set of eyes. And Devastator's great. He cuts an imposing figure. When it comes to doing my top 10 combiners, he is definitely a contender. But I don't know if he'll be number 1 yet. Because as big as he is, as good as he is, he's kind of hindered by his size. And the compromises his smaller components have to make sometimes. I'd say he's definitely going to be top 3. Maybe top 2. But I don't know if he'll beat Bruticus. Because Bruticus is easy to play with, easy to transform. And he's fun. And he cuts an imposing figure as well. Not as imposing as Devastator, but Devastator there's a lot more. It's a bit more tricky with that one. But yeah. Combiner Wars started off rocky. It did the whole wave 1 thing where it was like, we'll release most of the area bots, 1 Stunticon. dip your toes in the water, whet the appetite. But then they didn't release Wave 2, which was most of the Stunticons, the rest of the Stunticons, and the last one, Aerial Bot. And that was a turn-off for me at the time. But like I said before, I got Menasor eventually. Protector Bots kept me interested. The Combaticons drew me back in and made me want to get a Menasor. Devastator was definitely there. It's been a very fun line to review, and I think it's a very successful line because it is Repaint City, but it's more than just Repaint City. It's more Retool City. But the amount of work that they put in to making individual robots look different, all the repaint. I mean, you've seen it yourself with Dead End, Prowl, Smokescreen, and Blades. Dead End had a completely different look to Prowl, Smokescreen, and Blades. They came from the same mould. Prowl and Smokescreen look almost identical, but Blades had a different head sculpt, different paint job. They did a very good job of making each character distinct instead of just being a repaint. Because sometimes you'll get a repaint and they won't even change the head sculpt. Alpha, Bravo, and Vortex, for example. But I mean, outside the Combiner Wars line, with the exception of Alpha, Bravo, and Vortex, we'll get to you soon. They did a very good job of differentiating the characters. Other ones, Breakdown, Sunstreaker, and Wheeljack. Sunstreaker, I still don't like. Breakdown is the best looking one of them. Wheeljack, they at least tried to differentiate it by adding different chest piece and a different hood and trunk. So they put some effort into it. They didn't just like lazily repaint a bunch of figures. They put some effort into it, and sometimes it may have only been a different head and a different paint job, but there are other times, like with the Dead End mould and with the Breakdown mould, and any others? The Off-Road mould. It became First Aid, it became Ironhide, and then it became Trailbreaker, and Trailbreaker was different to Ironhide, who was almost identical to Off-Road, and First Aid was completely different. Then you've got Hound and Rook and Swindle, and you know how I feel about Hound. And just the level of detail that they put into some of these figures was just immense. There was far more detail in that Hound figure than a deluxe figure should have. And I can't credit Hasbro enough. Like I said, distribution was an issue. But distribution aside, everything else was bang on. It was fucking... And reviewing these figures and reviewing other figures made me appreciate other ones more. Reviewing Betatron made me appreciate Optimus Maximus more. Reviewing Motormaster made me appreciate the Optimus Prime mold more because of the differences between the two. Mirage, another great one. Can't not mention Mirage. A sleeper hit. It's been a joy to review these figures and to do the comparisons and see where all these repaints really are different and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad I came back to doing this. And I need to thank Gerard and Dan, because Gerard got in touch with Dan, and Dan said, "Oh, I'll come back and do this shit." And I was like, at first I was like, nah, got other things to do. But those things take time, and I thought, well, reviewing, that's where I started. It'll be 10 years ago when these go out. 2019, decade of Dez. And I did a video chat with Dan last week at time of recording, and it was just such fun, just chatting to him. We never video chatted before. 9 years ago I started doing this because of him, people like him and Gerard, and we'd never video chatted before. And I've met Gerard at conventions. I've chatted with Gerard on Skype and PlayStation, but I'd never spoken vocally with Dan, and it was just a great time. And so yeah, I owe those two a lot for getting me back into this. Indirectly, because I did say I'm not going to do it, and I just decided I was going to do it, but I thought, well, if they're going to do it, I might as well give this a go as well. Still life in the old dogs yet. Obviously, thank you to Hasbro and Takara for doing this shit and for going above and beyond with it. Say what you will about a lot of these things, but like I said, they put a lot of effort into making each figure somewhat unique, and they deserve credit for that. And they've got stronger and stronger as the Prime. Well, Titans returns the tits. Power of the Primes, I didn't get as many of those, but Power of the Primes was coming out at the time when Toys R Us was closing down, and less options in buying them. But I'm seeing stuff on offer for Power of the Primes. I'm thinking, I won't mind getting a Lita 1 or Moonracer, but I've fucking just bought the Siege Voyagers, and it's Christmas, and I have a child, so we'll see what happens in the new year. I might find myself coming back to Combiner Wars. I might find myself... I got the Chaos on Velocitron box set a couple of weeks back, and so it's like there's new figures to review in that. The Generations Platinum Edition that had the Combiner Wars Magnus, there was an extra Ultra Magnus to review and compare my original one to. So I'm picking new things up all the time. Just because this is the end of Combiner Wars doesn't mean it's the end of Combiner Wars. It's the end of Combiner Wars that I own. And I've had a great time doing it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to stop rambling on a bit. Thank you to everybody who's watched this, all these videos. Dan's been commenting on every one. Bruce, who I met through the DCUO stuff that I do, and we do DCUO stuff together, we do GTA stuff together. Even he's been watching them. I didn't think that was his cup of tea, but he's been watching them, so thank you, Bruce. You're a dear. Anybody who's paid this any attention, thank you so much. I kind of feel like I'm doing like a proper final speech. I'm not, because I'm going to take a break. We're going to dip into a wank basket, and then we're going on to Titan's Return. So, yeah. I'm going to let my phone charge, and then see where it goes. I'm currently editing the Bruticus reviews at the minute. No, I'm not. They're done. Yeah. I'm almost caught up on the editing as well. Usually I edit while I'm waiting to record. Like my phone needs charging or memory needs moving, so I'll charge my phone. I'll edit a couple of videos. They'll render while I record the next batch. And I've only got Ultra Magnus and this to edit now. So, yeah. Love you all. Even that guy that told me to eat shit in Turkish. He must really like that Sunstreaker figure. I've been Dezaras Prime. You shall see me in a bitch.